What's up everyone and welcome to my new video. So in this one I'm showing you the vision that I played this week. I played the horrific vision of Stormwind with 4 masks active, and yeah, I'll just take you with me and show you the video of it and how I played it. So right here I'm showing you my talents and my essences that I played for this vision. I switched Spirit Wolf to Earth Shield from the last vision I played, just to see how much healing the Earth Shield will do in the end and if it's worth it. For essences I played Blood of the Enemy Major and Formless Void, Purification Protocol and Essence of the Focusing Iris in Minor. To the right here you can see my stats, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Take a look at this picture if you want to know the most important stuff on how to play the vision, and with that being said we can just dive right into it. So I think I will show you the masks right here. Yes, there we go. We have the 4 masks active: Mask of the Burnt Bridge, Mask of the Daredevil, Mask of the Dark Imagination and Mask of the Paint. So since we have 4 masks active, the enemies will deal double damage and have double their health. So that's 100% extra on both of them. We will have void zones spawn where we have walked due to the Mask of the Burnt Bridge. Sanity damage from creatures is increased by 400% thanks to the Mask of the Daredevil. While we are below 50% of our maximum sanity, we will have random enemies spawn, and we will have more madnesses. So the madnesses that are active in the zones, like entomophobia with the bugs or split personality, etc., we will now have 2 in every zone instead of just 1 in every zone. So that will be quite hard to deal with, but I think we can handle it. As buff food I use the Ghastly Goulash to have 2% health regeneration, and I also have some of the food that restores 100 sanity. And yeah, so we start off the vision mounting up and pulling some enemies. We want to work our way to the right there, to the dead person, and that is to identify which color of vial is the bad one for this vision. So in Stormwind as well as in Orgrimmar there's a dead person. In Stormwind there's the person is right here. In Orgrimmar it's, I think, behind the smith, and next to the dead person there's a certain colored vial, and that vial is the bad one for your current horrific vision. So as you can see, for me it's the green one, so that means we want to avoid drinking green vials throughout the vision, since they will drain 100 sanity from us. Now we're just gonna kill the 2 Rift Walkers right here, so we can enter Illyria's room at the end of the vision without having to deal with them later. We're drinking a blue vial right here, and we will pull these enemies on top of those ones to make our way to the Dwarven District. Right here, the Void Speaker, I had my interrupt on cooldown, so I used my Tremor Totem to instantly break the fear. That's something you want to keep in mind playing visions as a shaman. The Tremor Totem, really useful, since there's a lot of stuff that you want to interrupt, and a lot of stuff can fear you, so you want to have that Tremor Totem down once you get feared. Here just running past the tumors, they won't keep you in combat if you don't want to deal with them. And now we're killing off the 3 gnomes here. They die pretty quickly, no big deal, no pun intended there of course. And now we're on our way into the Dwarven District. Our goal here is to place 8 explosives, and it is possible to play all of this zone in one big pull. I have done that before, but since it was my first time playing with 4 masks, I wanted to play it a little bit safer, and that's why I just played some packs together here. I used Bloodlust and used my cooldowns, and I got Rocky out, my little Earth Elemental, tanking for me, and I'm just interrupting some of the Taskmasters while killing the mini-boss. So now we're done with that, and we'll just use the rest of our Bloodlust buff to finish off some more enemies, to clear the zone even further so we can place the explosives. As you can see in the zone we have Entomophobia and Dark Delusions. Entomophobia are the bugs that appear on your screen. You just again have to jump to remove them. And the Dark Delusions are some ghosts that spawn that look like things from beyond. And no, I'm not playing as much corruption that I have things from beyond. So if you see them, these are just the ghosts from the Dark Delusion spawning. I play with tier 3 Twilight Devastation, and that's pretty much the only corruption I used for this vision. And you probably have seen it go off a few times, this vision already. And yeah, tier 3 Twilight Devastation, pretty much one of the best corruptions you can have for horrific visions. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky to have that. Now I'm just placing these 2 explosives over here, and then we will finish off the last enemies to finish off the zone. Right here there's an odd crystal. These are crystals that you can click to gather them, and you can hand them in the starting zone. There's a vendor that will give you mementos for the crystals that you've collected, and you pretty much should always do that if you find some. I think there's 1 or 2, it might be 2 actually, in every zone, so keep an eye out for them. It's really worth it, since we pretty much do this for the mementos only, and for the cloak upgrades of course. That's why I played the previous pull a bit safer, since I had raid after this horrific vision and I wanted to get the cloak upgrade to have it for the raid. So as you can see, I used my cooldowns on the last enemies, so I don't have them on this mini boss, but that was of course planned, since this mini boss is really easy. Yeah, you just walk out of the bombs there and dodge his frontal cone, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, jumping here and there to remove the bugs from my screen, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So Dwarven District, really easy, shouldn't have any trouble dealing with this one. Here we can see the first horrific figment. That's the enemies that spawn if I'm below 50% sanity, and there are the purple eyes above my head. That's when a ghost spawns from the Delusion's madness. These Mind Twist tendrils, you have to kill them, since they will keep you in combat with them if you don't kill them, other than the tumors that you can just ignore. So now entering Old Town, I immediately use my stun totem here, since I know that these stealth light hunters will spawn on me. And now we have the Leaden Foot and the Split Personality madnesses active. These ones are quite hard in my opinion, but of course you can deal with them. Right here I got pretty unlucky with the placements of the Split Personality, but I figured to just pull the mini boss into them so I can deal a little bit of damage. The Blade Flourish you always want to instantly run out of. You can actually pre-move it if you know it's coming, since the sanity damage goes off really fast. Right here I fucked up the Split Personality a little bit and tanked some sanity damage. Also standing in the Blade Flourish there while being disoriented, so that's not really optimal, but we can go on from here, it's not too bad. You want to focus the informants right here, always just focus down casters, is my tip for divisions. And grabbing some mementos here from the chest, playing the Shadow Blades. And what you want to do throughout the whole vision, at least that's what I do while playing visions, is plan out your cooldowns. So I'm constantly thinking about my cooldown management and what packs I need my cooldowns for. So right now I'm playing these 2 non-elites, and I see that there will be another pack of mobs, and I see that my sanity is rather low. So I could just keep the sanity orb for the mini boss after this next pack and play the mini boss within the sanity orb. but I just placed it now so I can play the non-elite pack here within the orb and start the mini-boss with full sanity, and that allows me to pull another pack into the mini-boss that's coming up right now. And since I'm restoring 200 sanity while killing an elite mob, that will pretty much leave me at full sanity after killing this pack with the mini-boss, so I think it will be worth it in the end. Of course, you have to make sure to not drop your actual health to 0 as well during division. So that was pretty close there, but all went fine in the end. And I'm just healing up myself here while waiting for the split personality images to despawn. It's a good time to refresh my health there and open the door, and now we are at the boss of the old town, which is Overlord Shaw. Pretty annoying boss, especially with leaden foot and split personality. Again, you don't want to face the Eye of Chaos at all, since that will drain sanity from you. So as a melee, it's kinda hard to hit Shaw sometimes, depending on your Eye of Chaos placement. So sometimes I just walk away a little bit and let Shaw come to me. So I'm placing him so that I can stand between him and the eyes, so they don't drain sanity from me. You can actually face further to the left or to the right of your target and not really face your target directly, and can still attack your target. But if you've played a melee class for a while, you should probably be aware of that. So right there I used cooldowns, which you may think were pretty wasted, but I just wanted to finish off Shaw without losing more sanity or time for my vision. And I had a good opportunity where I could attack him with the 3 eyes being behind me, and I used it with cooldowns, since now we have a little bit of traveling to do where we don't need our cooldowns anyways. So the reason for me going through the portal to the starting zone and not just walk to the trade district is that in the starting zone you lose less sanity than in corrupted and in lost zones, and also you lose less sanity in corrupted zones than in lost zones. But since we were in a lost zone on our way to a corrupted zone, I thought that it would be beneficial to just go through the portal and walk through the starting zone and lose less passive sanity doing that. And yeah, so here we are, grabbing some mementos in the trade district and onto our first pull. So again, I'm thinking about my cooldown management, and I'm saving my cooldowns on the next pack. So after these 2 enemies, my cooldowns will be up for the next non-elite pull that I do, but I won't use them there, since next up is a pretty hard mini-boss that will cast an ability that will drain a lot of sanity from you. And of course you can kick it, but he will always cast it twice. So after kicking it the first time, you won't have your kick available for the next one, and it will drain a lot of sanity from you. So right here, I might just pause the video. It's Agonizing Torment. You always want to interrupt this. And yeah, as I said, you will have to tank the next one. And after casting Agonizing Torment twice, he will cast another one that will make you hostile for your friends if you play the vision with some friends and not by yourself. So that's pretty irrelevant to me. I only have to worry about the Agonizing Torment. So as you can see right now, I'm really lucky. I have a Gift of the Titans proc, which is the last point in your research tree for the horrific visions, and it pretty much makes me immune to losing sanity in the vision. But nevertheless, as you can see, I'm playing the video, I interrupt the Agonizing Torment, and there should be, yeah, there's the next one, and those 2 will drain, as I said, a lot of sanity from you. So right there, it went pretty well for me. Again, jumping around to remove the bugs from my screen due to the entomophobia madness that we have. And also we have the Dark Delusions up again. Next up we have a non-elite pack, just playing them, interrupting of course. I stepped into the smash right there, which was not planned of course, and kiting the ghost from the Dark Delusions around a little bit. And then we will face the next mini-boss, which again is a pretty easy one. It's the Slave Master. And Entomophobia and Dark Delusions make this one a little bit harder, but it's actually still really easy. You just want to kite the chains around him. If you play with the Mask of the Burnt Bridge, so you spawn Void Zones behind you, you just want to run in a circle around this mini-boss and dodge the tentacle smashers while doing that. So pretty much all there is to it. Again, jump to remove the bugs from your screen, kite the ghost. So it looks like there's a lot going on during this boss fight, but actually it's just me running in a circle, so not too complicated to deal with. And yeah, even without cooldowns, that's pretty much all there is to it. And now we kill the two mini bosses and can go on opening the cages. So clicking another vial here, and yeah, onto clicking cages. Right here again, I know I don't have any like hard enemy coming up really soon, so I could have used my cooldowns here. I'm not really sure why I didn't actually, but yeah, there's a horrific figment spawning, and you can see there can be really annoying times for them to spawn. For example, right there I was always almost finished with my cast to open this cage, and then the figment spawned and interrupted me. So yeah, nothing you can do. Can be pretty annoying, but overall it's a pretty easy mask effect that you get. And so yeah, you can play all the non-elite enemies in the trade district in a big pool, which is pretty time efficient, but yeah, I mean, I'm not having any trouble whatsoever with time or sanity in this vision. So yeah, I just played it this way. You can be more time efficient here, but yeah, it's not too bad. I used my cooldowns finally right here. I will have them up once I need them again, since I will have to walk over to the Mage Quarter in a second, so I don't need cooldowns right now. So I spotted a red vial right there and went back to get it, since it restores 100 sanity for me. Again, the colors of the vials will always differ in your visions, and there are weak auras to show what color does what for you, but I don't really think that you need them necessarily. Of course you can use them and get some use out of them, but for me personally I just have a look in the beginning of the vision which one's the bad one, and then I know that I can basically click every vial that I encounter that doesn't have this color. Of course it's good to know which one restores the 100 sanity, but since I want to click every color at least once anyways, I'll just click every one that I find, and I think I'm able to remember one color that restores 100 sanity. I don't need a weak aura for that. So yeah, but it's up to you if you want a weak aura or not. You can use it. And yeah, now I already used my second orb there. Normally I use it up top here to kill the Portal Master and the mini-boss that's coming up in a second. But again, I wanted to play it safe, and yeah, so I placed it before a little fuck up here, standing in the void zones and getting caught by the split personality, standing in void zones even more. And yeah, I just had to make sure that I don't die there. That would have been really bad. And now we are on to the mini-boss. This mini-boss, I really don't like it, especially since we have Leaden Foot and Split Personality again, so it can be really hard to dodge his void zones. Having Rocky, my little Earth Elemental, out helps a lot for this mini-boss, although I caught damage aggro from him, so not too much use out of him there in the end. But we made it work and killed the mini-boss. Again, enhancement damage being really strong with the 2 short cooldowns, Elemental Spirits and your Blood of the Enemy, a really strong combination. Here I use my AoE stun, since there are 2 casters, and I can't interrupt both obviously, so the stun totem, really nice. And there was another fear, I didn't need to tremor it, I just killed the enemy, but again, remember, you can tremor the fears. For this tendril right here, you can stand really far to the left on the wall there and not get caught by these tumors. And yeah, I got really lucky with the split personality placement there, and we will kill off this appendage, and then we are good to go to the next mini boss. So on this one, the leaden foot, I haven't explained it, I think. You will get slowed if you keep walking, and if you stand still, then the debuff, the slow will fall off until you start moving again. So that's why I had trouble reaching this mini boss here in the beginning, but not too bad. Of course, you can use your speed cooldown as enhance and your ghost wolf to remove the slow and get out of it. And yeah, so now we will close the last void portal, or not the last, the second to last void portal. And in this zone the houses are really dangerous for the split personality if you are unlucky with timing. For example, right here I want to get out of the door to place the split personality on an edge so that I get a small window where I can walk through the images, but I didn't have enough time to time it properly there and got caught by it. And it happens again right here. I use my speed cooldown to get out and I slip over the edge and fall right into the image, so that's pretty bad. Yeah, pretty much just play it safe there and don't trap yourself. So now we close the last void portal and walk upstairs now into the Mage Tower. And right here I walk to the edge, and as you can see, you always want to try to place the split personality on edges, like I did right here. Let's go back a few seconds. You can see me, the screen goes purple, and I immediately walk to the left right there and stand still to wait for the split personality. And I place 3 of the images down there, so this gives me some space to walk around the split personality and walk upstairs. So of course you can also get really unlucky with placements there and still don't have place to walk around it. But I've noticed that if you place these things on edges, that a lot of times then you have an easier time dodging them. So on this mini boss, or zone boss I should rather say, I really like to put down an Insanity Orb and pull him into it. And of course you want to do that always if you place a Sanity Orb, that you pull something into it, because it's really efficient. But on this one it's really important, since he does 2 casts mainly. And one is a sanity drain that will drain a lot of sanity from you, especially if you play with the Mask of the Daredevil, and it will tick for 9 sanity damage. But if you wear the Mask of the Daredevil, then it will tick for 36 sanity, which is a lot. And you can see it here. There it is, and 36 sanity, 36 again and again. But my Sanity Orb is just instantly restoring that sanity to myself, which is really beneficial. And the reason why you want to do this and not just interrupt the cast is this cast, the Tainted Polymorph, because you want to interrupt this one, especially if you play with the Mask of the Burnt Bridge. Since if he polymorphs you for, I think it's like 4 seconds or something, then you will waddle around as a sheep and walk inside your own void zones, and that will drain a lot of sanity from you. So I used the orb to restore the sanity from the cast and then interrupt the polymorph. Now this boss will then teleport to different areas of the room, and as a shaman you always gotta think about your utility. And for this one, he will stop casting this Frozen Storm whenever you reach melee range of him. So since you play with leaden foot and you're slowed, it's pretty hard to reach him. That's why I use my Earthbind totem. Right there I placed it, and it counts as being in melee range. So hunters, for example, can use their pets or something like that. And yeah, so you need to have something reaching his melee range, and then he stops casting the Frozen Storm. And he will start walking towards me, which is really good if you're melee. So from now on I have to pretty much soak these casts from him and interrupt the Tainted Polymorph. I think that's the best way to do it. I might be wrong on that one, but that's just what works for me, and that's how I did it. Maybe tanking the Polymorph and wandering around in your own void zones is less sanity loss, but that just made sense to me while playing. So yeah, of course you can always use different totems. You can use your stun totem as well to reach melee range. Right here I missed him with my Earthbind totem, and you can see how much I'm struggling with the slow and this horrific figment spawning on top of me and the void zones and pretty much everything to reach him. So you gotta be sure about your placement of the totems, and then it makes this boss a lot easier. So that's the 4 zones done, and now we get back to the starting zone. Now after taking the portal, I use my buff food, the vision food, the kebab, that restores 100 sanity, and I could have used it a lot more often during the vision, but I'm not used to using it a lot, and I didn't need to. I mean, I have enough time, I still have my cheat death proc, I still have enough sanity, but a small tip for using the buff food, you should use it in a starting zone or in a corrupted zone, but not in a lost zone. Of course, if you need it in a lost zone, then you can use it to restore sanity, but in a lost zone the ticking passive sanity drain is higher than in starting zones, so you should use the buff food in the starting zone to not lose as much sanity in the time that you are eating the buff food to restore the 100 sanity. So if you eat it in the lost zone, you will maybe get only like 60 or 70 sanity instead of like I don't know, like 90 that you could get in a starting zone. So that's just for min-maxing. Right here, Alaria with the Eye of Chaos spawning exactly on her. Pretty unlucky on my part there, but just using cooldowns and Bloodlust on her, trying to get the Eye of Chaos behind me so I can deal some damage. And if you are melee, Alaria can be really annoying, since she's a hunter obviously, and she can attack you from range with your bow, as hunters do. So sometimes she just won't move and you will have no chance of reaching her. You can line of sight her, you can interrupt her, which you should do obviously on the Tainted Polymorph, by the way. But she won't move. As you can see there in the back, she was just, before the Darkened Sky cast, she was just shooting me and basically not walk out of the fire, so I couldn't attack her. Right there she was nice to me and walked out finally, and yeah, I'm interrupting her, dealing some damage while I can, before this eye moves in front of me or she just starts standing in void zones again. And all in all, it's just a pretty annoying fight as a melee. Now I use this Circle Underground from Promise Power for like 2 seconds before everything just goes wrong again, and I have to line of sight and interrupt the Polymorph and have the Eye of Chaos in my bag, walk out of the bombs, dodge the Darkened Sky, pretty much everything going on at the same time. But right here I catch a glimpse of her in attackable reach, and I just pop cooldowns and just finish her off. And there's another horrific figment wanting to be in the video, so there you go. And that's pretty much the vision. I had my cheat death left, and there's a pretty nice achievement for clearing it with 4 masks. And now for the most fun part, the chest opening at the end. Of course we all love RNG and corruption RNG and every other sort of RNG that is in the game. And now you can guess what nice piece I have in my chest. Is it an awesome corruption? And no, it's a dogshit 465 piece. So yeah, really bad. But that's it for this video. That was my 4 mask full clear from the Horrific Vision of Stormwind. I hope you enjoyed this commentary and the video in general. If you did, maybe leave a like or subscribe my channel for the next video. I really appreciate you guys watching, and with that being said, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.